Salvete discipuli et discipulae, Abecedarius, literae Latinae, pars tertia, vocales. So in our last video, we talked about the pronunciation of the Consonant Ace, and for the most part, they were pretty much like English. We said there were a few exceptions. The V made the W sound, and we saw that letters like K and G only made a hard sound, never a soft sound like they could in English. The vocales, well, they're kind of in a similar situation, all right? Some of them pronounce exactly like in English, whereas others pronounce differently, more like they would in French, Spanish, other Romance or European languages. And actually, the name of the vowel kind of tells you which ones are going to be different. The first vowel, A, kind of like English. Second vowel, A. Well, already that sounds like in English what we'd say for the first vowel. Third vowel, E. That kind of sounds like the second vowel in English. Fourth vowel, O. Fifth, U. And the sixth, Y, which historically originally made the sound of the fifth vowel, U, but we're going to pronounce it more like the third vowel, E. As you can see, there are 6 vowels in Latin, just like there are basically 6 vowels in English. A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. Well, in Latin, Y is always a vowel. A, E, I, O, U, Y. Now, each one of these vowels can make 2 sounds. There is a short sound and a long sound. And I'm going to use colors to kind of help you see the difference here. I'm going to use blue for the short sound because blue light waves are shorter, and I'm going to use red for the long sound because red light waves are longer. Now, English kind of does this as well, where we have our vowels, they can be short or long. And one way English can handle a long vowel is to put a silent E at the end of the word. So, for example, here's some words that do not have a silent E, so all the vowel sounds are short. Ban, met, bit, not, tub. Now, if I were to add a silent E to the end of each of these words, the E would say, hey, you remember that vowel you just saw? Make it long instead of short. So adding that silent E, I would have bane, ban would become bane, met, meet, bit, bite, not, note, tub, tube. So that's kind of what the silent E does in English. Now, in Latin, they don't like silent letters. If you see it, you say it, all right? You're never going to find words like K-N-I-G-H-T, which is pronounced night in English. In Latin, that would be knichte, all right? So in Latin, if you see it, you say it. So the way the Romans are going to handle the long vowel is not by adding a silent letter to the end of the word. Instead, they're going to put a long mark, a line, a macron over the top of the vowel. And if you see that line over the vowel, it says it doesn't have a short sound, not. Instead, it has the long sound, o, note. Same thing, tub becomes tube. Instead of short, it's long, tube. Now, since E pronounce a little bit differently in Latin, if I was to say bane, meet, and bite, you would see them written as they are over to the far right there. And we'll talk about how and why that is as we get to our other slides. All right? So English sometimes uses a silent E to make a vowel long. Latin will put a line over the vowel, a macron over the vowel to make it long. So let's go ahead and talk about each of the vowels in turn. And we'll say the name of the vowel. We'll say the short sound, an English word and a Latin word that have that sound in it. Then the vowel's long sound, again, with an English and Latin word that have the sound. Now, the whole way we go through, I'm going to ask you to repeat after me. All right, so first we'll start by saying the name of the letter, A. Then we'll do the short sounds, Dinah, Puella. Then we'll say the long sounds, father, Malam. And then we'll wrap it up by saying the short sound and the long sound so we can hear them together. Ah. Now, as we do the rest, make sure to repeat after me so you can get these sounds down. Next letter, everybody. A, fed, et, a, they, where, a. Next letter, E, pit, quid, E, meat, friget. O, not, tanitrus. O, bone, nomen. U, full, ut. U, boot, nubes. Igreca, physics, Syria. E, flee, peristilum. Now, notice that Microsoft does not have a macron over a Y, so I'm stuck with that little pointy circumflex, which is a different kind of a long mark. But if you see that, just pretend it's a straight line. Pretend that's a macron. That's the best I can do with the resources I have at hand. All right, so those are your 6 Latin vowels. We said the name of the vowel, the short sound, the long sound, and some words in English and Latin that have that. Feel free to rewind the video, go back through that section. Getting the vowels down sometimes takes the longest to get used to. Consonants are a little easier. Vowels are less like English, so you may have to spend some more time with it. Okay, now every once in a while, you're going to see 2 vowels together. And when you have 2 vowels together, they kind of smush together into a single sound. Now, these are called diphthongs. Everybody try to say that word, diphthong. Well, di kind of means 2 or double, and thong is a Greek word for sound. So a diphthong is a union of 2 vowels pronounced as 1 syllable. And it's a Greek word, which is why you see the PH-TH together. Not something we would likely do too often in English. Now, I'm going to use purple for these, because it's almost like there's a long sound and a short sound being smushed together. And if you mix blue and red, you get purple. So I'm going to use purple for my diphthongs. All right? And we're going to do this about the same way. There's 5 major diphthongs you're going to see in Latin. We will say the sound. We'll say an English word that has the sound in it, and then a Latin word that has the same sound in it. So start with the first one. If you put an A and an A together, it says I. Everybody, I. Like, aistas. Au says ow. Round, autumnus. If you put OA together, it says oi. Boil, foidus. Ui says ui, as in ruin, cuius. And the last one, eu, says eu. Don't see this one too often in English. Can't really come up with a good word for you, but you see it in the Latin word heu, which is something Homer Simpson might say a lot if you were an ancient Roman, heu. So again, those diphthongs are I, ow, oi, ui, eu. All right, so thank you for listening to my videos about the vocales in Latin. Again, they take a little bit longer to get used to than your consonantes, so maybe go back through, practice repeating after me. Valete discipuli et discipulae.